when you learn to ride, you need to learn how to communicate with your horse. And we as people have certain tools that we can use to help tell a horse what it is we want them to do. We have a group of aids called natural aids. That would include your legs, which are on the sides of the horse that help create pressure that tells the horse to move away from pressure. You have your hands that communicate through the reins to the corner of his mouth, also telling him where to go or what speed to go in. You also have your seat, where you are sitting right on his back and helping drive him forward. And you also have your voice, because we do like to talk to our horses. Sometimes you're not allowed to in the show ring, but they do like to hear us. We also have artificial aids. One would be a spur, which you see right here, which is simply a way of sharpening the end of your heel. So instead of having a blunt heel, you have a sharper heel, which simply allows you to communicate a little more effectively. And the other aid would be a crop, which you see here. And that you should think of as an extension of your arm, using it to help encourage the horse to move forward. So, those are the primary ways that we communicate with our horse. We're now going to watch Allison as she takes her horse through several maneuvers so you can see how she uses all of these aids. The point of this video lesson is to simply talk about a rider's aids, how you use your legs and your weight and your hands, sometimes your voice, to communicate with the horse. And Allison does such a beautiful job. We thought we'd just watch her work her horse, and Cindy and I would just make some comments that maybe you listeners can observe and see what you think.
And this is a great example right here of using her leg aids. You'll notice her right leg is pressing against his side and drop back to move him across the ring. As she goes in the corner, she will bend with the right hand and the right leg came back. Her weight, which is another natural aid, is very evenly distributed and centered in the saddle. Here's an example of the left leg yield.
And you know what she's also really good about, and this is hard for beginners to learn, and that is sitting a trot, because usually we post when our horses trot. Oh, now we're cantering. But next time she sits her trot, notice how tight she is in the saddle. That was a flying lead change. Once she came across the center, when she got to the rail, she picked up the left lead. Now she's going to use another leg yield to bring him across the center of the arena at the canter. My guess is she's going to do another flying change, but let's just see. There it is. And that was beautifully done. And watch her hands. You'll see her pick up an outside rein every now and then. That's not an accident. She's doing that specifically to communicate certain things to her horse. Everything she does is deliberate. It is not by accident that her hands move where they do, that her legs move where they move, or that the weight in the saddle is where it is. You see the horse is moving away from the pressure that she was exerting with her right heel. Another flying lead change. Now that is beautiful.
So left leg, right leg. So those are the legs she's using to get the horse to get those leads. She's using the opposite. If he's on the left lead, she's drawing back her right leg. One, two, 1, 2, 1, 2. Lead
That's
changes
very
every
good.
2 strides.
That's really hard. That's a really hard thing to teach a horse to do. This is more upper level dressage training that you're not going to see just in every barn.
Through her seat, that was just asking for collection. If you notice, the horse cantered on a little bit faster. She sat back through her seat using her weight, and the horse came back to a more collected canter. So again, your natural aids are your legs, your weight, your voice command, and hands. Also notice that Allison has on spurs and is carrying a whip in her hand. Those are called artificial aids. An artificial aid comes into play when you have used all of the natural aids you've been given and you need them to enhance the movement or the pressure that you're putting on your horse for more response, which is very common in a high-level dressage horse or a jumping horse that you're pushing forward. So again, she has spurs on and she's carrying a whip, and those are called artificial aids.